Good morning, Year 3. Today we're going to be composing or writing the beginning of our narrative story. And yesterday we actually did all the planning and thought about our ideas. So to start with, you need to have your planning sheet with you so that you've got your ideas in front of you, what happens in the beginning of the story, what happens in the middle, what happens at the end. It's also a good idea to have your narrative planning sheet with you on the side because that gives you some good adjectives or words that you've used in your planner that you can then use in your own beginning of your story, of your narrative. Okay, so I've actually started, this is how I started my narrative story, and you can see I've actually started with a title. So when you write your title, make sure that you've got capital letters, and you might have a full stop or an exclamation mark depending on the title of your story. All right, so my title's called Alien in the Park. Oh no, screamed Johnny. A gleaming spaceship was hurtling through the sky towards a local park. Smoke was streaming from the shiny funnel on the side of the alien ship. And what I've done here is when I was rereading and writing it, I decided to swap these two sentences around. So the next sentence would be, the alien craft landed with a thud. The lush green grass was ruined. So I've used a really good sizzling start. I've put in some direct speech. I've started using a paragraph. And as you can see, I've got lots of good adjectives like lush green grass, gleaming spaceship, hurtling through the sky. So when you're writing your beginning part of your narrative, remember to include all those interesting words and reread as you go. So because that was my first introduction, often your beginning of your narrative could be a couple of paragraphs because you're tuning your audience in to what is going to happen in your story. So then I've actually written another paragraph that will then want us to make us read on. So I've written, people ran everywhere. Johnny, who was very adventurous, rushed to the side of the damaged spaceship. He peered cautiously into the window. A tiny green and scaly alien was at the helm of the craft. He was slumped over the controls. Johnny smashed one of the windows and managed to drag out the injured alien. Green fluid was oozing from his arm. And as you can see from my paragraph, I've created a little bit of interest or tension or the mood in the story so that it makes you want to read on. So when you're writing your beginning of your narrative today, you only have to do the beginning today. Think about the title. Think about using an amazing sizzling start. Make sure you put your writing into paragraphs. Use some fantastic adjectives. Reread as you write because sometimes you might get other ideas and think, oh, that doesn't sound right. I need to put a word in there. And last of all, make sure that as a reader, that whoever's reading your story will want to find out what happens next. Okay, your job now is to go off and write your beginning of your narrative story in your workbook. Make sure you have your planning sheet and also the beginning, middle, and end so that it will help you to sequence your story. Can't wait to hear your beginnings of stories.